Everybody welcome. You're hanging out with Ben. This is the Hardcore Punk Project here on the X, 92.5 FM in Kamloops. Today we're here with UIC. They are a Canadian punk rock band, and the name stands for Up in Canada, hence where they came from. UIC began in 1982 due to five young men who were bored out of their minds decided to start a band in Exeter, a small town in southwestern Ontario. As teenagers living an hour and a half away from Detroit, founding members Fred and Murray and friends would drive in Fred's car to FM Hill to pick up late night Detroit rock radio, where the Stooges, MC5, and Alice Cooper dominated the airwaves. Then punk rock made its way to Huron County, where Fred's younger brother Dave Smokin' Robinson was one of the first to discover the Ramones, the Sex Pistols, and Teenage Head. Now the band's influences were complete. Their new album, entitled FM Hill, is being released on UIC's Like 90 Records on October 19th in 3 days, with distribution by Warner Music Canada. So we have Murray here today. How you doing?
Good. Good. Glad to be here.
All right. As band members, Murray plays the drums, Dave does vocals, Fred does guitar, and Dave D does guitar, and Andy does bass.
That's correct.
Okay. So thanks for joining me here on the X.
Well, I'm really glad that you took some time to talk to me.
All right.
I got a question for you before you start. Have you ever heard of UIC before?
No, I actually discover a ton of new bands this way.
That's awesome.
And Looters, that kind of stuff.
Cool.
Okay. So first off, you okay with the teen interviewing you?
What's that?
You okay with the teen interviewing you?
Absolutely.
All right, then. You know what one of the best parts of being a radio host is?
What's that?
It's getting to listen to the albums before the release and talking to the bands. Like we're doing now.
That is, I bet you that would be cool.
Mm-hmm. So we'll talk about each song on the album one by one. If you're the songwriter or not, that's all right.
I wrote a bunch of them, but I didn't write them all. But I certainly can give you a little input onto each one. That's for sure.
All right, that works. Okay, so track one, Superstar. How much did you mess with your drum key to get that wacky snare noise that wacky snare tone in the intro?
How did I get that wicked snare tone?
Yeah.
That's just my snare drum. That's a 1984 Tama Superstar snare, cranked to the top and just hit it hard, and it happens.
Yep. Reminds me a couple of other snare tones, like the infamous Saint Anger snare.
Yeah.
It just sounds like you're hitting a garbage can.
Yeah, that snare is an old one. It's my favorite. I've never been able to part with it. It's a bit beaten up, but I just love it. It's like a comfortable sweatshirt. You just can't get rid of it.
Yeah, I understand. That's why I wear this yellow shirt a lot.
You have your favorites, right?
Yep. Okay. If you were to become tell us about this song. Like, what do the lyrics mean and stuff?
Well, this is kind of an interesting song because the premise of this song is the fact that it's for all those musicians like ourselves who, or it could be a band that does a cover band or whatever that gets up and goes out and, puts in their time and effort and goes and plays on a stage somewhere. And it doesn't matter whether there's 10 people there or 2,000 people. They just love to get up and do their stuff. And for that hour or that 2 hours that they're on stage, they're a superstar, right? And so that's why they do it. It's not about the money. It's all about just getting up on that stage and doing it. And even for the crowd, the crowd is also the superstar. So that's what that song's really all about.
Yeah. All right, I'm just gonna pull this up because it's driving me crazy right now.
Okay.
So, if you were to become a superhero, who would you be and what would your power be?
Oh, if I was a superhero, wow. Now I should know that because my kids are into superheroes. Um, I don't know. I probably you want me to give myself a name or is it just I just need to be a power?
I think we'll just go for a power. Got to keep it simple.
Okay, I would probably I would want to have hyper speed to be able to go
Mhm.
fast. That
Yep.
would be what I would want to do is to go faster than anybody else on the drums running. If you think about how much stuff you could get done if you could move really, really fast, you could get a lot done.
Mhm. Yep, I agree.
And then I could play like super hardcore punk rock music that would be faster than anybody else on the planet.
Okay, I can also agree with that. Okay, track two, Mystery Train. I hear a little similarity to Green Day's Christie Road, awesome punk song.
Well, actually, that song actually was written and
Mhm.
that was on our live album that came out in 1989. That song was written for us by a friend who passed away a few years ago. He wrote it acoustically and we rocked it up. But that song was written there, and where I've heard that when people have said, "Oh, that really reminds me of Nirvana," and I've even had people say, "Hey, you stole that riff from Nirvana," and I've told them, "Nope." That song was written before Nirvana existed. So if anybody ripped off anybody, Nirvana had to have ripped us off because that song was around long before Nirvana came. So, but
Yep.
it's just a song. It's a good song that a friend of ours wrote for us, and I don't know the meaning behind that because I didn't write it. So, yeah, that's what that song's all about.
All right. Also, where was that train off to?
Good question. I just saw the acoustic version of that today. He played it on a TV show back in like the 80s, and somebody posted it on Facebook today. And I don't know where he was off to. Knowing Richard Karstens, who wrote that, he was on his way to somewhere quiet and I was looking for peace and quiet, I think.
All right. Okay. So, have you traveled much by train?
I have actually not extensively, but I did take the train. I like the train. We did it actually years ago. I did a train music tour. We actually a bunch of bands got on a train and we actually toured together and played a bunch of Northern Ontario cities. It was a benefit and a protest to save the rails because they were going to shut down the Northern Railway, and we all went on this train and did a tour up through Northern Ontario together. So that was a blast. That was a lot of fun being on the train with a bunch of musicians. But yeah, I took the train quite a bit. I used to take the subway all the time when I lived in Toronto. Do you like the train?
I don't travel, but I haven't used the train.
Okay, it's pretty cool. It's a nice, relaxing way to travel. I'd rather ride the train than fly, but it's not as fast.
Mhm. Right. Would you consider perhaps a moving concert on a flat car called Rolling Down the Rail?
Would I what?
Would you perhaps consider a moving concert on a flat car called Rolling Down the Rail?
That would be fun. Like you mean have the band set up
Yeah,
going down the way? That would
yeah.
be super cool. Now, how far are we going?
I don't know. Maybe like between subways or something. Like
Well, it would be cool
I don't know. I don't really
to
know, but
that would be
has to be
cool to set
possible.
up. That would be cool to set up and pull into a station, play a couple songs, and then move on to the next city. Pull in the station, play a couple songs. There, I think that would be a fun tour.
All right. Track three, Honest Can't Survive. When I heard the intro E minor chords, I thought I was going to hear rock you like a hurricane for a second, but then they just continued.
Well, that particular song was written. I wrote that song. And that song was written in, believe it or not, I wrote that song in 1983. And it never made it onto an album. I mean, we used to play it live, and then it kind of got pushed aside, and it came up, and we started jamming on it here, and then we said, hey, let's put this on the record, because the message is still makes sense today, that with all the financial stuff going on in the world, and people fighting for position and equality and stuff like that, it kind of still made sense all these years later. So that's just and I wrote that when I was a bit more of an angry young man, and so that's a punk rock song from the 80s that just got released in the year 2020, but it was it's an older song.
All right. A dream vacation. Where would you like to go if you were on your dream vacation?
My dream vacation? I've been on quite a few vacations, and they've been good, but where I really want to go, the ultimate destination for me is Australia. I want to go to Australia. I like a lot of Australian bands, and I think the country, or the continent and country, is cool. They like cool rock and roll music. So yeah, I would love to go to Australia. Have you ever heard of Radio Birdman?
No.
That's a band. You should look them up. Google them. Radio Birdman. You'd like them. They're a punk rock band from Australia from the 70s and 80s. They're still around like us. They're older guys still playing, but they influenced us too, and they were also influenced by the same bands who influenced us.
Have you heard of the Disgruntled Taxpayers?
Have I run into Disgruntled Taxpayers?
No. Have you heard of the Disgruntled Taxpayers? They're a band from Australia.
No, I have not. Disgruntled Taxpayers. I love the name.
Yeah, they're a new band. Got a song called Fried Chicken Gave Me Boobs.
Okay. What about, have you heard of the Celibate Rifles? They're another band from Australia. What about the Lime Spiders?
Nope.
You have to Google the Lime Spiders. They're very good, from Australia.
I'm only familiar with Hockey Dad and the Disgruntled Taxpayers.
Okay. Well, I'm going to look that up. I'm going to look them up.
Okay. Track 4, Thunder from the Left.
Yeah.
That's a confusing title. I thought it would be Thunder from the West at first.
Oh, did you? Well, what that is there's 2 songs on the album that are a dedication to our bass player who passed away. The original bass player from UIC, Danny Hack Prescador, died in 2018. And so that song is actually a song that was written by our new guitar player about playing with Danny. And Thunder from the Left, because Danny was always on his left. So the Thunder from the Left was from his perspective of this big bass player, and the chorus of it is 4 stages. So he only got to play with Danny 4 times before Danny died. So the line 4 stages is all I played with you is the line in the song in the chorus. So that's a personal song that he wrote about the bass player that passed away.
All right. Sunshine and rainbows or lightning and thunderstorms. Which one do you prefer?
Say it again.
Is it because your dog's barking?
Yeah, that's my dog barking. I can't. He's always barks whenever I get on an interview or I'm on my computer talking to somebody. He always starts barking then.
My dog's the same way.
Yeah. So what was the question?
Sunshine and rainbows or lightning and thunderstorms. Which one do you prefer?
I like sunshine. I'm a sunshine guy. I mean, are you in Kamloops?
Yeah.
Yeah. See, I like sunshine. I'm not a big rainy guy. I love to golf. I'm a golf guy. So I can't golf when it's raining and thundering and lightning. So I really like the sun. I hate winter. I really hate winter. not looking forward to this winter, Ben. It's not going to be fun. But yeah, so I'm a sunshine guy.
Yeah, last winter wasn't fun either.
No, I don't think this is my 59th winter, and I haven't really enjoyed many of them. I'll be honest with you.
All right. I mean, winter's decent for me. I just get to stay inside all day.
Yeah, I just don't like them. I can't ride my motorcycle. I can't play golf. I can't do any of the fun things.
Speaking of the sun, do you enjoy sunrise or sunsets more?
Say that again. I'm kind of deaf, Ben, so I apologize.
Yeah, it's all right. Do you enjoy sunrise or sunsets more?
Oh, sunrise or sunset?
Yeah.
Sunrise. I like
Yeah,
sunrise.
I don't like either too much because it just hurts my eyes.
Right. I like the sunrise because it's sort of the beginning of something cool, the beginning of the
Yeah.
day. Right. So I like the sunrise. I find it more appealing to me.
Right. Okay, so track 5, FM Hill. I'm assuming this is the place where you would go as teenagers.
That's exactly it. See, we grew up in a very small town in the 70s and 80s, and there was nothing to do. Like, we didn't have a movie theater. There was no social media. We didn't have phones. There was no Netflix. There was, we got like 3 or 4 TV stations, and so we just hung out. And when we went to FM Hill late at night, especially foggy nights were great. We could get that cool radio stations from Detroit that would play songs that we never heard before. And so we would go there, and that's where we would find the music. And then if you listen to the lyrics, and the chorus are, on the hill, we found the music, Detroit City rock and roll, got the signal, don't you lose it, Detroit City rock and roll. So it was all about going over there, getting a good signal and hearing some good rock and roll music and having fun.
All right. Okay. So I Googled Exeter because I like to learn more about where bands are from. Apparently, Exeter's current population is under 5,000.
That sounds about right.
What's the punk scene like here? What's the punk scene like there?
The which kind of life?
The punk scene.
Oh, the punk scene. I'm sure it's well, believe it or not. I mean, we're the biggest band. We're the biggest punk rock band, biggest band ever to come out of Exeter. The biggest punk rock band. We're like Rush,
Yeah.
So there's a strong punk scene in Exeter, believe it or not. Like, not younger people, but people my age and slightly younger. So there's a lot of punk rock fans in Exeter. And so they are our fans, and they became fans of other people. And okay, when you Googled it, did you find out what Exeter's famous for, other than being the home of UIC? Did you figure out what it's famous for?
No.
It's the only place in North America that has white squirrels that aren't albino. It's the white squirrel capital of North America. So
yeah.
That's
cool.
That's their claim to fame.
Speaking of Ontario, how close is Ajax?
From me?
Yeah, from Exeter.
From Exeter? It'd be about 2 hours.
All right, because that's where Sum 41 comes from, and they're another big Canadian band.
Who?
Sum 41.
Oh, yes, of course. Well, see, I live in Curtis, which is not far from Ajax. And my kids were big Sum 41 fans. And actually, the other day, I did an interview with Simon Head, who was the road manager for Sum 41 for 10 years. So we had a great chat. I learned lots of stuff about Sum 41.
I saw Sum 41 live in Kamloops.
Awesome.
Yeah, I also saw The Offspring.
Oh, cool. I like both bands.
Yeah, and then there's another smaller band called Dinosaur Pile Up. Their music is good too.
Cool.
Okay.
I always like to see Canadian bands who do well around the world, and Sum 41 became a big band. So I like to see when that happens.
Yeah. You know, it's tough being a teen and wanting to go to concerts in Canada. There's not enough all ages shows.
I agree. Because my grandkids can't come see me play in clubs, right?
I think bands should be able to start playing at schools, community centers, small arenas like back in the day. After COVID, of course.
I love it. I think you're absolutely right. I would rather do that. And I'm going to be perfectly honest with you. I would rather do that than play the clubs. Absolutely would rather do that.
Big American bands like Green Day, before they became popular, they would come to Kamloops and play in the roller rink.
Yeah, and that's fantastic. And that's the way, I mean, realistically, I think that's the way it should go. I think because bands need more places to play for starters, because the club thing is struggling, but also it gives people a chance. One of the other things I'm a big fan of is there's no need for rock and roll shows. Like in Japan, the shows start at like 7, 8 o'clock and they're done by 11. You don't have to go till 2 in the morning. And I think that's a move you're going to see start happening. But I agree, they should have more all ages shows. We got a show coming up that you can watch on your computer.
Okay, I'll watch that.
Yeah, we're doing a live stream from the Horseshoe Tavern in Toronto, and it's going to be live streamed.
All right. Okay. Track 6, Like 90.
Yep.
What's this song about?
I wrote that one, and that's just a fun song about, remembering my youth and being free and getting in your car and just going for a drive on a Friday night with nowhere really to go, with nothing to do, and just out there listening to rock and roll in your car. And that's what we used to do. We used to just hop in our car on Friday night and we just drive and listen to rock and roll, listen to the Ramones, listen to Teenage Head, listen to all that, go to a punk rock, the Damned. We used to listen to that, and that's what we did. So that song's really about just getting out in the highway in your car, listening to rock and roll and driving around. That's just there's no deep meaning behind it.
All right. Okay. I was going to mention the whole instrument section, but none of the other band members are here, but so, yeah.
Who is what?
Moving. I was gonna mention there. I have a section on my show where I talk about instruments, like what kind of guitars people own and their opinion on it. But nobody else is here, so I'll have to skip that for now. Sorry, viewers.
Okay, yeah, because okay, do what you got to do, man.
Track 7, Morocco. You guys have been. No, wait, hold up. What's this song about? I'm guessing it's about Morocco.
Fred, the guitar player, wrote this song. Fred Robinson, and Fred's mind works in a very interesting way. Fred's an interesting dude. So I don't want to try and. Fred was just talking about. I think for Fred that was really about just sort of an escape. Going into his own headspace and getting away without getting away. You know what I mean? Like he was, I can't really figure it out. It was just a fun song that's talking about getting out and getting around the world,
All right. Okay. You guys have been together since 1982, correct?
Yes, a long time, man, a long time.
What's the most memorable experience you've ever had as a band?
Well, there's been a lot. We've had a lot of fun. It's hard to pin it down to one, but in the 2000s, early 2000s, 4 members of UIC and one other guy, we formed a band in between UIC stuff, we formed a band called the Chickens. And we put out 2 records, and we ended up going to and playing with a bunch of bands in New York City and winning a contest for Little Steven's Underground Garage. And we got to go down and play Irving Plaza in front of like 3,000 or 4,000 people in New York City. That was a lot of fun.
Yeah. Okay, so do you remember in 1984 when that Twisted Sister album Stay Hungry came out and it just swept the world?
I remember it. We're not going to take it.
Yeah,
that was the big song.
Stuff. Yep.
Yeah. Oh no, that was huge. That was a massive song. They're still living off that song, Ben. They're still making money off that song.
It's cool. It's cool too because I haven't heard of any bands that have been able to survive on one song, aside from all those bands that make one-hit wonders, of course.
Yeah, I mean, I guess better to be. I mean, I never had a hit like that, obviously, but I always thought, would it suck to be a one-hit wonder, or would it be good? I think.
Well, one-hit wonders, they usually all die out eventually. Except for some of them. Some of them still rock, like My Own Worst Enemy or No Rain.
But you know what I'm saying? Well, what about Jimmy Eat World?
Jimmy Eat World, yeah. Their most popular song is The Middle.
Yes. And then anything, I'm being guilty here of, that's the only song of theirs I know, you know?
Yeah, me too.
And I think that's kind of sad. And that, because you write all of these songs and then people only remember you for one, but then you look at it and go, okay, but I got really a lot of money for that one song, which helped me live my life. So I don't know, I'm torn.
Yeah. Okay. Track 8, Richard. What's the song?
Richard May was a friend of ours, and especially of our lead singer. And Richard died as well a few years ago. And this song is a tribute to Richard by our singer, to because they grew up together. And actually, Richard May was, I gotta say, Richard May was the first punk rocker to ever be in Exeter, Ontario. Richard was the first guy to have a mohawk. Richard was the real rebel in town. And he introduced Dave to punk rock, kind of punk rock to Exeter. So Richard's a bit of, even in Toronto, Richard's a bit of a cult hero. Everybody knew Richard in the punk scene. And so that song is really a tribute to him.
All right. Okay.
I hate to be morbid, but there's a lot of people die when you get our age. So you got to write these songs for them, Ben.
Yeah.
Because we're getting older, so people die.
Same thing happened to Eddie Van Halen.
Exactly. We're not quite that old, but almost.
No. Okay. If you could go back in time, what artist would you like to see live in concert and when?
Oh, wow. If I could go back in time and see a concert, I would go back and see the Ramones at CBGB's in 1974.
All right, that's a good pick.
Yeah, that would be or the Stooges in Detroit in 1969. There's my two. I stole 2 picks, Ben. I gave you 2.
Okay, that's okay. If I could go back in time, I would either go to Woodstock 1999 or Green Day's Jaded at Chicago in 1994.
Now, if you went to Woodstock in 1999, who would you be focused on seeing? Who was your favorite?
That depends. It would either be maybe Primus, Kid Rock, maybe Korn.
Okay.
But I'd be gone before crap started going south.
Right.
Track 9, Fly Danny Fly. What's this song about?
Well, that's my tribute. See, I grew up with Danny, our bass player, so that's my tribute to him. that he passed away. And so that song is a really powerful for me song about, how many, hours and days and van trips and on stages and writing songs and rehearsing that I spent with that guy. I mean, I spent a big part of my life with him. And even when we were kids, like we played hockey together, we listened to rock and roll music together in his room, and we traveled around in his car and my car. We just spent so much time together. So he was like one of my best friends, and when he passed away, so that was a hard thing for me to get through. So that song was really a tribute to him and helped me heal by writing it.
All right, I feel you. Okay. A female artist, who would you like to collaborate with and why?
Female artist?
Yeah.
Chrissie Hynde from the Pretenders, because she epitomizes women in rock and roll, and she's just really talented, and she'd be really fun to collaborate with. I think we'd come up with some really cool rock and roll stuff. So Chrissie Hynde for sure.
All right. I would go with Nita Strauss.
Okay.
Alyssa White Gloves.
Okay.
Alyssa White Gloves, the female death metal singer.
And what would you do? Would you like to write some songs with them, play guitar in their band? What would you do?
I'm a drummer mostly.
Oh, are you? Okay. I see all those guitars.
Yeah. Those are instruments I play in my other time. I'm kind of drifting more towards bass, but I'm a drummer at heart.
Okay, well then we're kindred spirits, because I'm a drummer as well. So there you go.
Okay. Is the camera glitching out or something? I'm not sure. Okay. So, final track, Shadow on Your Wall. What's this song about?
Well, that song was actually recorded. That song wasn't recorded by UIC, but it's a leftover track that was recorded by the Chickens when we were in the Chickens, and we recorded that in 2000 and I'm going to say 2003 or 2002, and it's a song that our guitar player wrote for his son who suffers from some mental illness, and he was struggling with schizophrenia, and so that was a song about the pain that his son was going through with that disease.
All right. Okay, so now are you ready for the final part of the interview? This is
sure. What are we doing?
This is called the challenge.
Okay.
In this part of the show, I usually challenge every band to do something fun and goofy and absolutely ridiculous.
Okay. What do you want me to do?
The challenge is music video must be uploaded to YouTube. Jungle Boogie by Kool and the Gang, Punk.
Say that again?
The challenge is a music video. It must be uploaded to YouTube. Jungle Boogie by Kool and the Gang.
I love Jungle Boogie.
Punk style.
I want to do that song. I can't believe you said that. I want to cover Jungle Boogie and make it a punk rock song. Yeah, I can't believe I can show you on my phone where I made a note that I want to do that. I want UIC to do that.
Interesting, because it was my dad's idea.
That was your dad's idea?
Yeah, we're just listening to a bunch of cheesy 80s songs. No offense. We're listening to a bunch of old music, old disco music, that kind of stuff, and Jungle Boogie came up, so we were like, just throw that in or something.
I want to do a punk rock cover of Jungle Boogie. I'm all over that.
All right. Okay, so looks like we're running out of time here. So
go ahead.
Yeah, Okay. So have a good day.
Thanks, Ben. I really appreciate you having me on.
All right, bye.
See you.